And welcome back, everybody, to the Podcaster Nation. That's right, I said welcome back because I know you were just listening to our stuff and you came back for more. You want more. I don't blame you. This is awesome stuff we're giving you right now. If you're a podcaster out there, by the way, and you haven't been on this show, why not? You're a podcaster. You should be here. This is the Podcaster Nation. Reach out, contact me. I'm easy to find. It's in the show notes. Folks, this is the podcast that's about podcasters. It's for podcasters. It's done by podcasters. And you did crack the code. Today's guest is a podcaster, among other things. This guy's multifaceted. He has, a list of accomplishments as long as my arm. I can't wait to get him on here. Let me just say that this is the place where we all come together and raise each other up. This is the place for community for podcasters. This is the place where the rising tide raises all ships. Folks, let's rock and roll and get this episode going. Please welcome to the podcast my friend Dominique Dom Brightmon, who is the host of the Going North podcast. Dom, how you doing today, man?
Yeah. I couldn't help myself. I just had to do it just one time. I'm doing great, man.
Oh
I'm good.
boy. And they're off. So, what's the difference between doing a podcast that's about, normal stuff and a podcast that features podcasters? You get this kind of stuff. Now I have to tell people. We were just having this conversation about how tough it is when you have people on that just answer questions with like, yeah. So, anyway, backstory is covered now. I'm sure every podcaster out there gets it. All right, Dom, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm back and better than ever. Maybe feels good to be on the Podcasters Nation where I get to have a resume that's longer than your 24-inch pythons. It's an honor.
Oh my goodness gracious, this guy. All right. So, Dom is the author of a couple of books, Going North and Stay the Course. He was the youngest area director of Toastmasters at 23 years old, guys. If you know what Toastmasters is, and a lot of podcasters do, you guys understand that. I mean, that's public speaking right there, and that's being creative and sometimes on the spot. That's a skill. And at 23 years old, he was the youngest area director of that. It's incredibly impressive. His podcast, Going North, was listed in the top 10 self-help podcasts for a couple of years. This guy knows what he's doing. He's got it going on. Dom, tell everybody, other than all those accomplishments, all right? Tell everybody who is Dom? Who is Dom Brightmon? And what are you about, brother? What brings you here today?
Hey, Roy, thanks so much for having me on, man. Shoot, I was like honored to be on your other wonderful podcast, The Power of Man. Check it out for those who don't know about that one just yet. Stop hiding under the rocks, y'all. It's good material. And like when you invited me to be on here to share more about the podcasting part of my life, I'm like, dude, this is freaking amazing. Like I'm freaking honored. And yeah, because the thing is, my show, like before it even started, like even before the Toastmasters, grew up in basically a church boy for the most part. Went to church for the during the weekend and during school week, just played with my friends and go to school. And when I got to my teenage years and puberty happened, the voice kind of got a little bit deeper. And then folks be like, "Hey, you got a great voice for radio, buddy. You should be in radio." Years and years go on, be a part of plays, give talks at school, even taking a public speaking class and high school, actually helping to actually get past high school thing, because that was like my freaking edge. It's like, dude, like I sucked at a lot of things, but when it came to public speaking, thanks to growing up into the church and speaking in front of hundreds of folks every week, reciting scripture, like that helped me to get over and kept hearing like, hey, you got this voice radio, you got this voice radio. And I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna start a podcast one day. And like that's basically what happened after going through a side quest of basically publishing a book and my first ever book, Going North: Tips and Techniques to Advance Yourself. That one was a book written on a dare and back in 2015. And at first I didn't want to take on the dare, but I ended up doing it anyway and got the book done within a year, October 2016. Published the book, happy about it, getting on podcasts, doing TV, local TV spots for the news, and doing a little media tour. And then sadly, it was about 6 months after the publishing of the book that my aging father passed away with dementia because he was also going through Alzheimer's at the time when I was going through trying to basically build this book business up and basically do that. And after March 2017, when he passed away, it was around July. I was like, man, I haven't gotten any really book sales yet. I kind of like fell off by the wayside with these books here. You know what? Let's a good way to market the book. Oh yeah, podcast. Yeah, I wanted kind of wanted to do that first before even writing a book. So I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and start a podcast. And then I was like, you know what? Shoot, how the heck I do that? Let me go ahead and go back to some of the favorite podcasts I used to listen to. There's this podcast called The O Show back in the day. They were talking about life and professional wrestling. Some good guys out in Canada. One guy called himself Big Daddy Don, and the other, his co-host was Danny O, a rapper who was underground, but really good on the microphone, really lyrical. Like, dude, should have got more publicity for some of his music back in the day. And just going down and listening to other great podcasts, and had a coach at the time for life coaching and asked him what his thoughts were. And then down the road about, I think it was, shoot, July. So that was 2 months later, finally launched my podcast Going North. And I decided to make it all about interviewing fellow authors, especially first time indie authors, because authors need all the publicity they can get. And I didn't just want to be rambling in the mic every week. It's like, oh yeah, folks enjoy hearing me speak for the most part, but it's like, let me make it about other people. Go the servant leadership route. And 8 years later, 950 plus episodes later, I'm still going. So as I jokingly say, podcasting is one hell of a drug.
950 podcasts, brother.
Yeah.
Say that one more time. I got to hear it one more time.
Yep, 950
What
podcasts.
the? I mean, and these are not like, 3-minute podcasts. They're like, you didn't
No.
just like have a thought, record it on your phone and keep running. You know what I mean? It was some people do, just crank out like 3-minute episodes and keep on going. And that's great. That's good for them. But I mean, these are real episodes, like, like full length, boom, 950.
Yeah.
I mean, power to you, man, because wow, just wow. And I love the story. I love that it's about, it started with the author thing because
Hmm.
I find that now too. Authors, you pour yourself into that book and you do everything you can, and you're already up against, whether it's a publisher or it's, self-publishing, and then, it's all, am I in the right, I hate the word, but niche, and then, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And how do I promote it? You're already having all that, and then you try and get on podcasts, and podcasters seem to be shying away from authors right now. I don't really know why. I love them. I mean, if
Oh,
you're an
wow.
author out there, come talk to Dom and I, because we love talking to authors. But I love that you did it that way. Hey, tell everybody what the book's about.
Sure thing. So Going North, that book is basically a synthesized self-help package for the distracted mind because it's under 100 pages. It's stuff that I've actually done in my real life that I actually teach about. Like if you're looking for a promotion on your day job, if you're looking to have a career, like definitely that's a book to pick up. If you're looking to have a more positive mental attitude, definitely pick this book up. Like it's definitely a book geared towards setting your mind towards thinking about the good in life and also advancing forward more in life. So that's really what it's all about.
I love that. I really do. Now, your podcast, in contrast, is not about that, but I've listened to it. There's a lot of those elements there, present, referenced, and everything else. Um, how does the book influence the podcast, or vice versa, however it works?
Yeah, funny enough, because originally the podcast was going to be called the Mr. Music and Reads podcast. Funny enough, I was going to call it the Mr. podcast until, funny enough, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, it's a, a musician from the '80s, right, Mister?" I'm like, "For real?" I didn't even know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I looked it up. I'm like, "Oh yeah, all right, cool." And then I was like, "Man, should I continue with this?" Then a coaching buddy of mine, we were having coffee one day, and she was like, "Hey, how would you call your podcast the Going North podcast?" Because it was basically my brand at that point, still is to this day, because that's kind of how the Going North thing started. Because it started off as a joke. I just came to work one day running a little late, And a colleague asked me, "Hey, Dom, how's it going?" And I'm like, I'm going north." And then that became the title of the book. And then she had a good idea of like, hey, and that's the other thing too for creative people. And I'm sure podcasts are very creative people because the thing is, sometimes if you create so much, you create this one thing and then you set it aside and then you try to move on to the next shiny object and just put it aside. But that conversation, that coffee chat one day with my coaching buddy actually reminded me like, hey, sometimes you got to stick with things a little longer than you intend to, especially if it's a creative project, because like it probably would have succeeded still with that other name, maybe. Not sure if I would have probably had lawsuit issues, but probably not. Like if I would put the whole title out there, like yeah, definitely. Probably would never got sued for that. But like the thing is, like it made so much sense. Like, hey, I got this book here. It's a way to still promote the book all these years later. It's a great name. It's advancing yourself and advancing others. And it's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and stick with it. And I'm guessing that's one of the reasons to help the podcast to have 100 flowers blossom, as the old analogy it goes. It's like, oh yeah, just plant a flower, then out of nowhere we have a whole freaking garden. And just kind of let them just blossom, take over the whole yard.
I love it. I love your analogies, man. I mean, the place you go, I mean, you're just creative on the fly. And I just every conversation with you is just an exercise in like, where's he going to go next? Because I love it. Let me, sort of back up for a minute. A couple things. First of all, you definitely have the voice, man. You're a podcaster, radio guy at the very least, but podcaster's the future, and I love your voice. You absolutely belong here. Now, that doesn't mean you're not a fantastic author, but I'm so glad you're using that gift that God gave you. And the second thing is, I'm still kind of reeling from the fact that something that happened in the '80s, you had to go like Google and look up because you're so young.
Yeah.
And I'm over here just remembering it from, yeah, when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I'm about to text
Yes.
my wife and ask her to bring me my cane so I can get up out of my chair later because I'm feeling just a little bit old with that
Ah,
reference.
you ain't that old. You're not collect Social Security yet. You're
You're
good.
absolutely killing me, man. Oh, yeah, I had to look that up. I'm going, I used to dance to that, man. What do you- get out of here. Look that up. All right, anyway. So I digress. Let's get back to the show here. Everybody's like, Rory, get on topic. What are you doing, man? So listen, the podcast. Um, there's the influence from the book. Okay, it started
Mhm.
off it was supposed to be Mister apparently, and some other things. Um, was it your book that shifted the course, or I mean, what kind of caused the course, and how did that change go for you when you basically in your mind changed the format of what you were looking at?
Yeah, the other thing about that book, it features a reading list called the 100 Books for Dynamic Living. And now, granted, I didn't interview every single author listed in every title of the book because some of the guys are dead. And
Makes it
I
tough.
guess,
I get it.
yeah, it's kind of tough. It's like, nah, I don't think we could do Ouija boards and whatnot. I'm not even into that, so it's like that's not going to happen. But anyways, yeah, like I was all about self help, still about self help and self development, and all that good stuff, and just really wanted to focus on nonfiction authors. And the other thing too about the launch of the show, like the thing was, it was a rocky start because the thing is, kind of like the whole curse of knowledge and the self-doubt kind of thing kind of kicked in where it's like, oh, you know too much, and it's like paralysis by analysis, and it's like, oh, like, yeah, maybe I should do this thing, and then it's like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't. It's like, man, maybe I should. And then out of nowhere, what helped me to also really just get a good launch on the show is a good buddy of mine, Mike Sheila out in Maryland. He does a lot. He's a big tech guy, works for an IT company, knows a lot about LinkedIn too. Used to be Maryland's number one like LinkedIn guy because dude would connect with people all over the globe and help people just like expand their business and their careers through LinkedIn. And he connected me with about, I'd say, 20 to 30 folks that I interviewed for the show,
Wow.
all based like most, I'd say just about all of them were nonfiction with different topics. And after a while, I was like, you know what? Shoot, maybe I can have a couple fiction authors on the show because it's like, yeah, like this is great and all, but it's like, it's like fiction authors, you got to be creative to write a fiction book, even though well, some of it's based in reality. Because one day I was at this book vending event down in Baltimore, and it was a Friday afternoon, and it was kind of a slow day because most folks were at work. But one lady on a break, Miss Odessa Rose, she was walking by the tables, just like doing quick little 60-second Instagram videos, just putting them up there on the social media, and then when she mentioned that she was an author and who she actually was, after doing a whole little pitch for like, hey, come on down to the book festival, like check us out, and she saw my little flyer on the table because I had a couple episodes under my belt at the time for the podcast. I was like, hey, can I be on the show? Like, oh, sure, why not? Like, hey, like you're all nice and trying to help get some freaking traffic here. Like, it's kind of rude to be like, yeah, like I ain't this big freaking dude. I'm just some random black guy from Baltimore here trying to make something for himself. I'm like, shoot, well, of course, gonna be on the show. And she killed it. She like my highest like downloaded episode for like months. And she was really good. She was really good. And after that, I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and expand it. And today, I'm surprised that I've interviewed authors for almost every type of genre except like folks who write books about politics. That's probably about it. I've actually had romance authors on the show, which is kind of entertaining because they do multiple things as well.
Hmm. That's funny. I don't know that I blame you for staying away from the
Yeah.
politics, but is that just to avoid the issues, and things and the hate that comes with no matter what side you're talking about?
Yeah, it is because it's like, dude, it's almost like the Crusades today. It's like you mention one guy, it's like, oh God, they're the devil. Mention other guys, like, dude, why are you freaking a fan of them? Like, why are you a registered Democrat or Republican? It's like, man, usually I say both of them suck, so because it's true.
It's so sad. The easiest thing to do is to not talk about any of it, out loud. So you just go, yeah, I don't blame you. I really don't. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing though. So now is every episode an interview with an author, or do you have
Oh,
solo
oh
episodes?
yeah.
Or
Oh yeah. Now, granted, I've done a couple episodes. I call them selfie cast just for fun. It's funsies. It's like, yeah, selfie cast episode, baby, it's me. And I've done about five of them, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like I think my longest, funny enough, one of them was an hour long episode, a solo episode. I called that one the 30 for 30 because that was my 30th birthday episode, 30 lessons from 30 years on the planet. That was a fun one to record. But yeah, I've done a couple where it's just a solo episode. It's like, yeah, it's me, baby. Selfie.
we don't edit, man. So people are just gonna hear the laughter. I don't know what to tell you. All right. I love it. You're because yeah, I've listened to some of your stuff, and so I didn't hear like solo episodes. It was like interviews. So I mean, you've interviewed like almost 950 authors. Like you're on your way to interviewing 1,000 authors.
Yeah, that's
Brother,
the
what
stretch
the
goal.
heck? Wow. I just wow. I mean, those numbers, that accomplishment is amazing. How often do you publish your podcast?
Oh, yeah, shoot. Started off as one a day. Got noticed in 2018 after 6 months of consistency with the episodes. Then 2019 switched to 2 days a week. And now, after 2020, when folks figured out what the hell a podcast is, now it's 3 days a week. So every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, a new episode goes up.
Man, I mean that's quite the run. 5 days is tough.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we ran into technical difficulties last week trying to get 5 days out because there's just not enough hours in the day sometimes. But you got to just get ahead of it. But
Yeah.
man, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm getting that 5 days just because I don't know. I just feel like I need to. And I'm old. I need a challenge.
Self high five. He'll get those 5 days a week.
You're darn right
That's
I'm
right.
gonna. But man, 3 days a week for all these years to get to almost 1,000 episodes is crazy. Now, how have you promoted the podcast? Because it's been a while. So I mean, your promotion has to have changed over time. So how have you promoted it in the past?
Yeah, that's changed over time. Like, shoot, of course, meeting Miss Odessa Rose earlier, that was one of the techniques, especially pre-COVID days, where I do a lot more vending events, like just having a flyer on the table with like, hey, this is the podcast, this is where you can find it. Didn't do the QR code thing because, well, the book's probably like outdated now since there's QR codes everywhere, but there's this book out there called QR Codes Kill Kittens. And that kind of got me away from QR codes because they were showing QR codes in the most random, unnecessary places. Like there'd be a QR code in a billboard. It's like, dude, you're driving like 70 miles per hour on I-95. How the hell are you gonna scan a QR code, bro? Like that's not how that's gonna work. So just stuff like that, just kind of like, nah. But yeah, vending events definitely. Social media, that's always a plus. Also blog articles every now and then. Like I would write a blog article, like summarizing like a quotable quote from a past episode. Like there's this one article that kind of helped the podcast to explode a bit called I think it was eight great inspirational quotes from eight great authors or eight best-selling authors or something like that. Took a quote from one of their episode, did a little thought about it, like a good two, three sentence thing about it, linked it to their episode, and then did that eight times over. Shared it on LinkedIn, did it on Facebook, did like a Facebook ad back in the day for it. And I targeted the ads to where it would be in the state of the author. So, like, if they were in Colorado, in that general area, like it would be in Colorado. If there was an author out in Croatia, it would go in there too, and target them because it's like, oh, yeah, I remember, I might know that face, and then that way it'll really boast that hometown hero effect where it's like, oh yeah, that's right, they're there. I know that person. I know Nancy. Like she cool people. Like, hey, what's she saying over here? And then click on the article and all that good stuff, and that actually did pretty well back in the day, but nowadays, like with time and everything else. Like, even though there are amazing AI tools out there that have made post production so much easier, it's just the fact that, yeah, AI is great. I use it now, especially with like my Facebook posts when it's just putting out pictures and things like that. But it's like I still gotta go in and chisel it a bit so that way it still sounds like me. I don't want to like just trust AI to completely spit out exactly what it needs to be said and then put it out there because some of the things it may put out, it's like, oh yeah, because you can always put in like, oh, please rewrite this post in a more fun and engaging way, or please write these show notes in a more fun and engaging way for like Gen X and millennials. And some of the terms like, okay, this resonates a bit, and some it's like, nah, not so much. So, like that's evolved over time. Like vending events back in the day, Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter is a surprising underdog. Especially, I was like, oh, I thought that was a garbage fire, like a dumpster fire. It's like, like I just go there for entertainment, but it's like, yeah, like especially like nowadays it seems to be dwindling down a bit, but like for years and years, especially hashtagging the writing community on Twitter because they stay engaged on there, like they would get a lot of freaking hits. So yeah, like social media, in person, business cards. Even now I got hats that say Going North podcast now because when I'm out and about, it's not my day job, I'm always wearing a baseball cap on my head. So it's like, hey, you got to be your own brand. Heck, even I got a pair of custom Nikes where I put Going North on them, and they're royal blue and gold like the show logo too. So I also wear my brand too. So there's multiple ways to promote the show that's evolved over time.
I love it. You're doing it with your merch too, huh?
Mm-hmm. Darn Skippy.
Nice, nice. Well, what kind of merch are we talking about here? What's your favorite stuff?
Yeah, so through T Public, I forgot what they rebranded to recently, but yeah, T Public, they've been great. They've added hats about 9 months ago, which I'm happy about because that's something they were missing that I really, really love like hats, t-shirts, mugs. They got stickers. Like some folks like to put stickers on their laptops. Even had a couple of colleagues from my day job buy the shirts and supporting the brother. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I appreciate this. This is freaking great. Like, now granted, the idea popped in my head to also get one of them car magnets put on the side of my car, but I'm like, you know what? The way these people drive, I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Because if I try to cut one of them off, they'll be like, hey, what's this guy's name? Like, no.
Right. That's, I was going to say,
Yeah,
nowadays,
exactly.
anonymity is your friend when you're driving nowadays. That's for sure. I'm not sure I want to put something out there that says, this is my name. Yeah, I just cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
That's an idea anyone was willing, but it's like, nah, I haven't done it there for that exact reason. I'm like, nope.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-mm.
My goodness, I love that. I love the answers too about promoting it, and it does change over time.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the experience you have, where it's been this long period of years that you've been at it, and so there's some folks who are just like, well, this is how you do it. That's it, because they've only been around for a short time. And I mean, if you've started this in the last couple of years, maybe then you're like, all right, social media, got to do this. That's pretty much it. Once you're done with social media, it's like now what? And
Uh-huh.
so the old creative thing that we all used to do, like you're talking about, I mean, flyers, going into a some sort of big event, as a setting up a table, handing stuff out, talking, wait, talking to people like in person, in person. I mean, I mentioned that to somebody at one point, one of my students, they were like, "You want me to do what?" You'd have thought you asked him for a kidney. Yeah. I'm like,
They
talk to
weren't thinking that you were going tell them to go in there and talk to themselves out loud, were they?
no. I'm like, just go talk to people and like live humans. I can't do that. That's not what I do. I'm a podcaster. I don't talk to live people.
Not
It was
live.
just hilarious, and I love it. I mean, you're old school, man. I absolutely love that. That's how we used to do things in the old days. We would go out and network the old-fashioned way, and it worked. And it built things up. So now I love that. I always ask everybody about monetization. I mean, 950 episodes. I'm assuming you have some thoughts on that somewhere, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, definitely some thoughts. Funny enough, another thought popped in my head as you were talking. My day job, I got a on my lanyard, I have a little button. I need to go Google this later. There's a little hymn that you can have that says ask me about my book. So for those out there, if you're scared to talk to people, maybe wear a pin that says ask me about my podcast.
Oh, nice,
If you're
nice.
scared to talk to people, wear a hat that says ask me about my podcast. But yeah, monetization though. Yeah. The merch I mentioned earlier through T Public, that's one of the streams. Since I'm an author, book sales streams, and funny enough, the books themselves, it's like there are multiple income streams within themselves. The book itself, the paperback, the Kindle ebook, the audiobook version, that pays off. Speaking engagements every now and then, definitely that's another income stream. Also, like and also not being afraid to just really promote yourself. Like, hey, if you have a podcast and a business, like promote your own business with your show if you don't have sponsors just yet. And who knows, sometimes you may even make it out the gate with a sponsor like podcasts back in the late 2010s. Like you would always almost hear every third podcast they'd have an audible like ad because that was like the go-to ad, it seems like you
Right.
never like don't be afraid to like reach out to sponsors and see how you can reach out. But definitely through like ad spots, merchandise, speaking engagements, book sales, like those are really the income streams. Oh yeah, and Podmatch too, like podmatch.com. Like dude, like getting
Oh
a
yeah.
little change to interview guests. I'm like, you know what? Shoot, sign me up. I'm all freaking for it. I've been with that website slash app for I think it's almost 5 years now. I think it was like late 2020 when they created it. Alex Sanfilippo, like really good dude, really about helping podcasters and really about innovation. Like Like he doesn't rest on his laurels. Like this, like the whole pod lottery, like everything he's doing to help out folks in the podcasting space, like love it. So that's also another income stream too, just interviewing guests and getting some change back every now and then after reaching that threshold where it's like, okay, cool. All right, my cloud storage is covered for the month. This is good.
Yeah, right. Right. I
Yeah.
I love that you brought up first of all of that because I mean that was almost a master class in how to like monetize your podcast. I mean you just like started checking boxes right down the road, which is beautiful. But I also like that you brought up Podmatch. I mean that's how you and I met. It is a new service
Hmm.
to a lot of folks, but Alex has done a fantastic job with that. I just had him on Power Man as a guest. It was the guy's amazing. But it is a really great resource, especially if you're, on the hosting side. But to host and guest is it's not expensive to be there, and then you can make that back plus some. I think people kind of look at monetization like if I'm not getting, $1,000 or I'm not getting, 5 grand out of somebody, then I'm not. Why am I monetizing? And they kind of forget that, like, first of all, it costs you money to put your podcast out, so and time. If you can get something back for that, if you could cover your costs, I mean, even if your hobby is free, then I mean, what's wrong with that? But people just and they also don't understand the compound effect. It's like once you bring in some of that money, it grows upon itself. It's like the money begets more money once you get going with it. And have you found that, or am I just talking crazy right now?
Oh no, you were so right. Money begets money. So indeed, folks being like, money don't grow on trees. Well, hey, money can have money babies, baby.
There you go. All right, straight from Don Brightmon, everybody. All right, all right.
I might have to go to t-shirt later. I don't
Oh my goodness. That's definitely gonna be on your website in the merch. That one right there. Um, it's so funny though, because the compound effect works in so many aspects of podcasting. And we don't talk about it enough. People don't get it. Somebody like you who has the episodes you have and you've built the things you've built, you have to have felt that, over time, how it just keeps growing and growing upon itself. He's nodding his head. He forgot
Yeah.
he's on a podcast. He's nodding his head. Like he's on TV. I'm telling you, this is another reason why we don't edit. Okay. So anyway, compound effect has helped you out. Good. We'll just move on. Good deal. Gotcha.
Oh
Yeah,
no, it's true. You're right. That's why I do 3 days a week. Like folks are waiting for episodes like 3 months at a time, man. That's
that's
why I do three
beautiful.
days a week.
That's beautiful. How do you? I'm curious about this. How do
Yeah.
you find you? I mean, I know Podmatch is a help, but how do you find your authors? Because you have such a specific type of thing you're looking for. Um, I may be looking for stories or I might be looking for podcasters and things like that. Well, podcasters are a little easier to find, in terms of in our world. But how do how do you go about finding enough authors to have that kind of content to be putting out, three every single week and not be missing a beat the way you are?
No. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like you got to set yourself up for success. Because when I first started the show, I had about a good 10 total interviews. Yeah, I think it was around 10. Because my friend Mike back in the day interviewed, he actually linked me up with 20 folks and interviewed probably about at least half of them at least. Because some of them didn't say yes, some of them haven't gotten back to me at all, which is okay. Like you're gonna have those days. And with that foundation where I launched with 6 episodes, with 4 episodes to go in the queue, I basically was networking with people, and plus I was in, and plus with Toastmaster International, like that nonprofit, like really, it's about helping you become a better communicator and public speaker. There's going to be some authors in that organization. I imagine a lot more now today than it was when I first started back in 2014. I imagine there's a lot more. And I met a couple authors through there. And when I would event at author events, I would meet fellow authors there and then have certain ones I'd invite on the show and then get them that way. And I'm at the happy point now where I really don't have to really reach out to anybody. I get so many darn messages a week. Like it's crazy.
Nice.
Like I don't have to reach out to anybody. Like if it's like sometimes a dream guest even pops out every now and then where it's like, you know what, let me read the book and all this good stuff, and then a year later I have end up having him on the show. It's been an honor for that. But yeah, like if unless it's like someone on the dream guest list that I would like to have on the show, or it's a friend who was like, "Oh, you know what? I could be on your show now. I got a book." It's like, "Oh, shoot." That's the other thing too, like advancing yourself. Like it's actually kind of on an honor for some folks to like when I hear that from some people. It's like, "Hey, I got a book now, Dom. I could be on your show." It's like, "Dang, oh, y'all actually paying attention." It's like, wow, that's awesome.
That is great, man. That's almost the definition of success as a podcaster, right? I mean, when you've got people calling you to be on your show, first of all, and they look at it like, "Hey, I'm now worthy of being on that show." It's
Yeah.
amazing. That's just amazing. You've accomplished a lot with this, man. You really have, and it's just awesome. I got to ask you my corny question at some point here. So now's the time. I know you know it's coming. So he did his research and he found out.
Yay.
That's
Corn
right.
cobs.
That's
Yay.
so so. What is it about podcasting that you love the most? And what is it about podcasting that you just dislike the most?
Oh man, what I love most about it is just the personal growth that comes through the conversations that I've had with so many wonderful folks. Like, dude, there's like so much to love about podcasting, even especially as an interview based show, because it's like, hey, you get to have these great conversations, and then the recording button pops on, get some great content. Then after the recording's over, you get even greater content where it's like, crap. It's just something about that record button every single time. It's like you get something where it's like, man, dang gummit, why didn't I leave the record button on like some other host? But I'm like, nah, like I want to protect the guests. I want to feel at home. Like I don't want to be one of those like dirt sheet reporter type folks who are trying to get dirt and trying to get clicks and views. Like I don't want to be that person. We got
Right.
enough of that trash out there going on. Like I want them to feel at home, give them some radical hospitality, and if they want to come back and I like their company, they can come on back. Like that's the thing. Definitely want it to be great for them. So the personal growth, the content, the connection, so much to love about it. What I dislike the most about it, I'd have to say, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'd have to say it's probably really, definitely, I want to say the post production if you don't outsource it. Like, if you like it, I've gotten good at it today. I've got AI tools today, and it's just really getting that consistency from folks to really help you really produce your stuff. So, like, that's probably the thing I dislike the most about it, really. It's just the post production. Like I've outsourced it a few times, but at the same time, with AI tools out now, it's like, oh wow, like my productivity soared 30% here. Like freaking AI mixing up my audio so it doesn't sound like trash no more. I'm like, dude, this is great.
Like your audio ever sounded like trash. Get out of here with that.
Oh, it has. Oh, it has. The first episode was trash.
Well, now we all
Hear my
have an episode.
intros, they were trash too. Oh God.
Oh man. We all have an episode one, man. That's not fair. Come on.
Hey, that's
Oh, I love
true.
it.
You don't get to 954 without starting in episode one.
There you go. I love that. I mean, if this was a Family Feud style and it was like top five answers on the board, post production slash editing, number one answer.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
forget it. Across the board, and a close number two. Well, not even a close, but a number two is the promotion, social media, stuff like that. So, but man, post production and editing, just right there, bang, number one answer. I don't know how we all do it. Well, wait, I don't. So,
Yeah. You're like, forget all that, buddy. Let
no,
it ride.
no. done. But no, I admire you guys who do though, man. And it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Dom, having you on this podcast is an absolute blessing. Someone who not only has all the experience you have and has accomplished what you have, but has such fantastic, just lit up attitude about all of it, about the business, about what you're doing, how you do it. Your message is wonderful. Everything about you, man, is just you're a light, man. And I just I love being around you. I love talking to you. So I appreciate you so much for coming on. Let me ask you my final question, which I did prep you for, so I'm sure it's going to be another just banging answer. Here we go. You 950 episodes on your way to 1,000 authors interviewed. What's your best piece of advice for, a podcaster who's not quite where you are?
Yeah. I'm messing with you. I had to do it one more time. I couldn't resist.
Again?
I couldn't resist. Well, funny enough, that actually is the answer. Definitely have fun. Like, dude, it took me quite a while to really fully, I say, evolve and be fully, I guess, my silly self with certain guests. Cause like certain folks, like, oh, okay, all right, I don't want to be too silly, throw them off and scare them off. But after a while, I was like, ah, no, they actually enjoyed because there's one episode having a rough day and like this was back when I was recording on freeconferencecall.com years ago. It was like 2018. And as soon as she popped on, for some strange reason, I was just like, screw it. Turned on my Macho Man Randy Savage voice, like, welcome to the danger zone. And she just busted out laughing. And we both busted out laughing. And we ended up laughing for the whole freaking hour and some change during the episode.
That is great.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my God.
like for those who want to check it out, I think it's episode 114 or 118, Self-Intelligence with Jane Ransom. Like we had so much fun in that one episode, laughed so much like that. Yeah, like it was good. So definitely remember to have fun with it because if you're having fun with it, folks can tell. I've even had some folks pop on and be like, "Oh, I got you in a good mood today," and I'm like, "Oh, that's scary. I wonder what episode that was. I didn't sound like in a good mood." So definitely have fun with what you're doing because folks can tell. Folks got
Wow.
authenticity antennas and they can sense BS a mile away a lot quicker nowadays.
Yeah, you must have had a really bad episode somewhere along the way. I mean, 950, I think you're allowed one,
Oh
but
yeah, definitely, definitely.
wow. That's such great advice. It's like it's so simple and you would think it was like just commonplace, like everybody would get it, but so many people don't. They're so worried about every little aspect of it that they stop having fun when they're doing
Mhm.
it. Why are you doing it then if you're not having fun doing it? Oh, I love it. That's yeah, great advice, brother. Absolutely. Any parting thoughts for anybody on your way out?
Oh shoot, there should be a lot, but yeah, definitely never give up. And shoot, heck, even another marketing tip for folks, like always promote your past episodes too. Like every episode, I usually anywhere from 3 to 10 because I sometimes overachieve. Like you may also be interested in. Like, hey, if you mention a past episode or a topic from a current interview, like hey, or a current episode, just link it back to past episodes and always reshare your posts. Like you, when it comes to post production marketing, you always got to reshare your old content. Like, don't just put it out once and forget it. That's one mistake I made out in the early days of my show. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was still figuring out some things. I'm still figuring out. I'm still learning because things keep changing and growing. Like, have a growth mindset and don't be afraid to really reshare your old stuff because I always like to go back to this keynotes presentation I gave at a men's leadership conference in Arkansas, like 2018. And I was able to get the full footage of the speech. I reposted on my Facebook page like 2 years later. And I got a comment from one person was like, when the heck was this? Like, this is great content. I'm like, oh, this is 2 years ago at a men's leadership conference. So like, there's some folks out there who are still new that need to hear your message, need to hear what you have to say, hear what you have to share. Like, don't be afraid to share it and then reshare it again because sometimes they forget or they didn't hear the first time.
I love it. I love it. Again, so simple, and we all should be thinking of it. But you're right. Once it's out and we promo it, we're done. It's like it doesn't exist anymore. It's just sitting there evergreen. Hopefully, somebody finds it someday. That's great advice right there, man. Dom, it's been wonderful having you on again, man. Really and truly. I wish I had a third podcast so I could invite you to that one. I might start one just to have you be episode one, dude. I mean, I don't even know yet, but you're a blessing, man, to me, to the business, to podcasters, and I can't thank you enough for coming on here and just being you, man.
Hey, thanks for inviting me on, man. It means something's working.
Something, something's working. I love it. Folks, this has been another awesome episode. I hope you had as much fun as we did of the Podcaster Nation. Folks, this is the Podcaster Nation. This is the place. This is the podcast that is for podcasters. It's about podcasters and it's done by podcasters. Folks, I say it every time and I could not mean it more today. This is the place where the rising tide truly raises all ships. So keep sailing.